Hello and welcome to episode 4 of Indie Dev Life, the show where we try to give you an insight into the lives and experiences of indie game developers. On today's show we have Alexandre Muttoni of Le Cartel Studio, developers of the game Mother Russia Bleeds. Let's begin.
Yes, okay. Hi everybody from GaminGHD. I'm Alex, aka Oprim from Le Cartel Studio, who we just made Mother Russia Bleeds, who is a classic beat 'em up published by Developer Digital. And I'm here to answer this huge interview, and I really hope I have enough space on my phone to finish this. So I'm supposed to introduce myself. So I'm Alex. I'm 29. I'm French, from Paris in France, and studies hobbies. I'm basically the designer. I handle all the artistic part of the game, characters, character design, character animations, backgrounds, the menu, everything you can see on screen was my job to do. So I always drew in my life. I worked in the 3D industry. I was a 3D animator. I work in several digital agencies as a art director or web designer, this kind of jobs. I basically just did some Facebook applications, website tools, a lot of things, but never in drawing, never in my really original passion. So after 7 years of work, I just quit my job and tried to live off my passion, video game, drawing, this kind of things. So I just quit my last agency during the summer 2013, 3 years ago from now, and I just wanted to make some video games. So I just asked on Twitter, hey guys, I'm a free guy who want to work in this industry. I have no experience in it, but I'm really motivated. And if you have a project or something like that, you can contact me. So 2 guys contacted me after a while and asked me to work on a versus fighting game as a designer, artist. I never know what job I'm supposed to have. Graphic designer, artist, pixel artist, I guess. And I met Fred. But I'm pretty sure it will be the next question. How did it all begin? I don't know. Why did you want to become a developer? Did your friends okay? So yeah, I didn't read the question to have something, kind of natural. So maybe I will lose some time reading the questions. But how did it all begin? Did I want to become a developer? Did my friends and family encourage? Okay. What was the first? Okay. So, like I said, I had no experience in video game industry. I was not a developer at all. I was just a guy who knew how to draw. And I'm not the best in my in my city. All my friends are really better than me, technically and artistically. So it was not easy for me to just launch my project because I have no really confidence in my skills. But I wanted to try. I wanted to try working in video game industry. So I quit my job and I met Fred, who was a game designer at Ubisoft. He was a guy who worked on Just Dance, 2 Just Dance actually. And he just quit his job too to try to make his own indie project, build a team, build a project. And we just met at a barbecue in my place, absolutely nothing related with this industry. And we just talked. His girlfriend at this time was a co-worker of my girlfriend at this time. So basically it was our girlfriends who just forced a little bit the meeting between Fred and I. And we just talk and we were really agree about the situation, the indie video game project. We have the kind of same vision of this industry and what we wanted to do at this moment. And he had this idea to make an old-fashioned beat 'em up. He's a big fan of Street of Rage and this kind of games, but I'm not. I was not a player of beat 'em up during the 90s, but I had someone. I had Power Rangers, Ninja Turtles. I had some games, Golden Axe. So I was like, okay, man, why not? Why not? I just wanted to work in the game, so why not beat 'em up? It's fighting scenes, fighting animation, so it can be cool. Why not? So he came with a PowerPoint and he had a basic vision of the game. It could be old-fashioned, but with this old spirit of Street of Rage and this kind of games. And we started to think where the scene could take place. We wanted to create something new, something different. So Fred speak Russian a little bit. He learned Russian language at school. He went to Russia once and he had really strong memories of this place. So he just asked why not in Russia, and when he said Russia I thought USSR. We all have this propaganda pictures and colors in mind, and USSR could be really cool for a beat 'em up, so why not? And we started to work just like that on our free time, and I made some pictures, some first sketches and experimentations of pixel art, because I had no idea how pixel art worked at this time. I had never tried this, so I just started to work, make some experimentations, make some first backgrounds, characters, animations, and we launched it on Facebook, on some different Facebook groups where professionals can talk, share their projects, and it was kind of we had great feedbacks from this little project we just built. So we thought, why not? Maybe we working on something who could work and who could be a real project. So we tried to find a programmer, which was really difficult, because when you don't have any budget, you can't pay anyone. You just have an idea of a game and please, can you work for free with us? So it was really difficult, but we finally met Florian Renaud, our programmer, who was a really big fan of Street of Rage 2 and always wanted to build a beat 'em up too. So it was really perfect. And we started to work like that, 3 guys, really motivated. And when we had the prototype, we put it on internet, on YouTube, it was kind of big success for a video game prototype. And maybe I will talk about that later, but the idea is a lot of people talk about our project on internet, on YouTube, and talked about Hotline Miami Cross Street of Rage. It was basically the idea everybody talked about us in that terms, Hotline Miami Street of Rage. So you know how internet works, and finally Denaton, especially Dennis Wedin from Denaton, the guys who made Hotline Miami, heard about us, checked the project, our project, they liked it, and they supported us. They retweet our project on Twitter and said, oh, this project is cool, this kind of things. So it was really a great moment for us. And he talked to Devolver, his publisher, about us. Like, you have to contact those guys, those French dudes who are working on a beat 'em up. So Devolver contacted us at this moment, and after that we signed a deal with us, and that's how the project began. About my friends and family reaction, when I quit my job, I was kind of well paid. I had a good situation in Paris. France, like I guess a lot of countries today, is in crisis. There are no more jobs. It's really difficult to find some job, and difficult to find a well-paid job. So when I quit my position from my last agency, my family was kind of scary, my parents, but they believed in me. They know I'm a hard worker. I really don't count my hours of work when I'm into a project. So they they encourage me to go to it, and they were really great with me at this time. And my friends were totally passionate by my project, because making a video game is a dream for a lot of guys, a lot of girls too now, but from our generation in the 80s, 90s, every guy is passionate by video game. Maybe not all his life, but almost. So all my friends were really into it, but some of them were kind of worried about my situation, like, are you sure, man, to quit the agency, the security and stuff? So I had a lot of reactions, but it was really great. They were really a great support for me at this moment. What was your first interaction with video games, and what was it like? I'm pretty sure I had a Commodore 64. I don't know if it's the English name. A really old computer. At the same time than what was the name of this engine? Amstrad. It was like the Amstrad, an old computer, and I was totally in love with it. Obviously, I played a karate game, Formula One, so cool games, Boulder Dash. I passed all my childhood years on my Commodore 64. I was totally in love with it. And maybe it was the first sign of what I wanted to do in my life 20 years later, but it was my first experience. After that, I had a Game Boy, and I played Zelda Link's Awakening, the first Mario, Pokemon Red, Charizard, I guess in English. So that was my first contact with video games, and obviously I never stopped playing video game. I have never been a real hardcore player. I was a big player of Quake 3 Arena, but never, some big RPGs really with 15 hours. I just love. Something terrible just happened to me, guys. I just lost the last half hour I passed answering this interview. My phone crashed and I have to do this again. I'm out of time, I have to be hurry. So I lost all my deep answers. So let's go, let's do this again. So now I know the questions, so I will be more efficient, but I have to be fast, okay? Who's your favorite character from video game? Like I said before my phone crashed, I love characters who have some, real personality, which is kind of rare in video game because video game is a modern and really native soon industry. So until for a long time, characters from video game was mostly empty shells where you put in your personality in it. So the characters I love in video game are from recent games, like the main character of Firewatch was really perfect. He was really credible, a broken guy with a really great sense of humor. And I loved the father in Last of Us 2. This kind of, failures guy, guy with troubles in their mind. I love this kind of characters. So yeah, that's what characters I liked. What was your childhood game? So I loved a game called Jackrabbit 2. It was a platformer with two rabbits, a green and an orange rabbit with big guns, and you just picked some weapons and some shields and bullets. It was totally crazy, but I loved this humor, this gameplay, this graphic style. I was a big fan of this game, and I'm pretty sure I still can speedrun this game. So if you don't know it, Jackrabbit 2, just play it and check it on internet. And I'm a huge player of Smash Bros. What's the most memorable thing that you've met in a game? So yeah, I really try to find something, but it's difficult. I'm a huge fan of Inside, who's just been released, 1-2 months ago. It's maybe the game who was the most blew my mind in my life. So technically it's the most memorable thing I've met in the game, Inside, from Playdead. If you didn't play it, that's your number one priority. And I loved the Fallout series. Fallout 3 made me live some really great moments. So Fallout and Inside, I guess. Okay. How was the team formed? So yeah, I already said it. I met Fred in a barbecue, totally random meeting. We hired Flo, on internet with a job announce. And Sloman, who handled the OST, was a friend of Fred, from metal music network in France. So yeah, it's really an indie team, just friends of friends. How are your brainstorming sessions going? What's the cause of the misunderstandings in your team? How does that affect your work environment? Everything was difficult in this project. Every time one of us had an idea and put it on the table, it was long and difficult to accept it or to transform it, to change it. We had 3 different visions of the game, I guess, and we had a lot of brainstorming sessions. Too much, I guess. But we wanted to be sure each of us, every one of us, really enjoyed the project, and we didn't want the guy in the team who feels not connected or not happy with what we're going. So it was long, and it could be about anything: the backgrounds, the gameplay, the communication on internet, the marketing part. We were totally different, each of us, and we had a lot of misunderstandings. So you have to be patient, you have to be open-minded, and with a great communication, you always can find a way. I'm pretty sure of it. So, okay. What are your favorite games and genre? Okay, I love narrative game. I love hearing a great story, have some feelings. That's why I loved Inside, I love Fallout, I love the games who really tell a story. But in another hand, I totally can love 100% skilled game, like, I don't know, Binding of Isaac, Spelunky. I'm a big fan of Spelunky. So I don't know, I can love a lot of games if I think it's beautiful or great to play. I love Nidog, for example, who just tell anything, but who is so great when you hold the controller. But if I have to choose, I like hearing a great story. I like deep characters, deep universe, something who make me feel something. What type of games do you create? So I just created one game. We just made one game in this studio. It's an old-fashioned beat 'em up. We loved it. It was really harsh, violent, fun to do. But I'm pretty sure we can now work on something totally different, maybe opposite of it, because we want something fresh and new. But for now, we just made a really violent game, and I loved doing this. What are you specialized in, and how did you get to do that? So as I said, I'm drawing since I'm a child. I was a big fan of Dragon Ball, and I passed all my childhood on my carpet drawing some Dragon Ball stuff. After that, I work in websites, so it was more, graphic. It was less fun. We can say that it was not really fun. But I still draw all my life. I never stopped drawing. So I just had to learn pixel art for this project. It was an art style, a graphic style I really loved, but I never tried. So I had to learn it for this project. So I just watched some tutorials and make some experimentations. So that's it. That was my job and my skills. What tools do you use to build your game? We use the 2D engine of Unity. Flo wanted to work on it because it was something really new and challenging for him. It was great. And for myself, about me, I just work on Photoshop. I do everything on Photoshop. Design, animations, backgrounds, even the trailers. I work only on Photoshop. It's the perfect software. We can say this. Considering the fact that there are plenty full of engines available for indie developers, would you use one of them or make one? Okay, we used 2D engine of Unity because it was new, it was modern, it was, the thing at this moment. And it was great because every time we had an update, it was interesting because it changed our way of work, but it was the main issue too. We had some problems, some issues we can't fix because we have to wait the update. That's the thing when you use a really new engine. You have some not perfect tools and some failures, and you have to contact Unity to say, hey, I have a problem with that, please can you fix it, it's important. So it was difficult but challenging too, to use a really new engine. I don't have any other experience, so I don't know what it looks like to work with your own engine. I don't know. I can't say that. I'm just a noob. I just draw. What are the specs of your PC? Man, I have no idea. I have a PC, I know that. It's a big black box, but I can't, I don't know anything about this kind of thing. I use Windows 10. I can't help you. If you really want to do that, you can ask from my team. They work on Asus laptops, and I have a big Dell computer, but I can't talk about the specs. I don't know. I'm gonna take a break to be sure the phone doesn't crash. Okay, cool. How much time do you work a day on average? We worked all the time. You don't have anymore some free time when you're on a project like that, because working is fun, and when working is fun, you never stop working. That's why I have so much games to play, because those last 3 years I was in a bubble, and I never stopped working. I had a girlfriend who forced me to take some breaks. That's important. But when on a project like that, you never stop working. You have so many ideas every time. You want to make the game evolve. So yeah, I woke up, drink some coffee, and work. I just stopped to go see my friends and stuff, but when I was home, I never stopped working. And I'm pretty more comfortable with working by night, so I work day and night. It was intense, but it was perfect. I never worked that much in my life. I never been I have a really not great paid, but if I can do that all my life, I will do it. You can't count your hours when you're in the indie game. Where do you draw inspiration from? Mother Sociable is based on pictures, on documentations. When Fred told me we can have a level in a jail, for example, he just looking for some pictures on internet, Google pictures, USSR jail, what it was looking like, and send me the pictures. a Bible. I don't know if you say it in English. In French, it's a Bible. You have a lot of pictures who give you an idea of what it looks like, and you start working based on pictures. That's why I guess Russian are our main community, Russia, because they can recognize, I hope, their backgrounds, their streets, their buildings, architecture. So the main inspiration was that. About my graphic style, I have some inspirations. I'm a big fan of Dragon Ball, so I guess the animations, the punch animations, the blood is inspired by Dragon Ball, or maybe Akira for the final boss, Drive, Only God Forgives for the lightning. We had a lot of inspirations. Actually, a guy made a collage, mixed a lot of pictures of what our game made him think, and he found all our inspirations: Kill Bill, Drive, Akira. He found everything, but it's not a fictive environment. It was supposed to take place in Russia, so we based on pictures mostly. When you begin a new project, what's the first thing that you worked on? The story, gameplay, or the graphics? For this project, we started with a main ID, the USSR, some people fighting in USSR. That was the idea. Old beat them up in USSR. We had this idea, and with that I started to work. I just make some characters, some backgrounds, some NPCs, and we didn't have an order with that. We built the story at the same time that we built the graphic style. Every time I draw a train, for example, we thought, okay, why not a scene in a train station or on a train? So yeah, our heroes could go in the main city. We built the story at the same time of the other parts of the game. That was difficult because we are not specialized in scenario. But yeah, everything was built at the same time. But if I start a new project, I would love to have a story, a finished, complete story, and work on it. It's an exercise I will try to do. It will be more comfortable for me to have all the universe, the story, everything in my mind, and just work on it. But we'll see. I don't know. What distribution platforms do you prefer to use? I hope it's about Steam or this kind of platform distribution. So I guess it's Steam. I'm just a PC player, so Steam is perfect. You have this community, you have this social part. It's perfect. I hope you speak about that because I'm not sure of my answer. What is your favorite platform to develop? Or PC seems the easier platform. These kind of questions are more appropriate for programmers or game designers, because my job is technically the same. For the PS4 or PC, my job is the same. I just do some background, some characters. But I'm pretty sure working for PC is the most easy for now, because you don't have to respect the chart, the rules of Sony, for example, or Microsoft. But I'm not the best guy to answer this. Regarding game development in your country, how there are a lot of companies trying to make a living by creating video games. Would you suggest to someone trying to pursue a career in video? Man, that's the main thing. In France, it's terrible to be in the indie industry. It's terrible. Last night we had this party with a lot of French indies developers. A lot of games has been released and a lot of societies has been closed. Making a game is expensive as hell. It's really expensive. You have to pay the guys, you have to pay the licenses, Unity, Photoshop, you have to pay the sound design, the localizations, the porting, the QA. You have so much work to make a game. It's obviously really expensive. So when you build a company to make a game, you have to pay a lot of things. It's really, really expensive. And what I see now is people, gamers, and it's not their fault, it's just like that now. It's a reality. Gamers don't want to spend too much money buying a game. $20, $20 for a game is now considering as expensive. We have a game who cost $15, and what we saw is a lot of people are waiting the Steam sales, you know, and it's really terrible because when you release your game, you have to win some money, you have to earn your money because you don't work anymore, so you don't have a publisher or something who can pay you. But people don't buy the game. If people don't buy the game and wait the sales, the Steam sales for Christmas, for example, you can't keep your company alive. That's simple. So a lot of company can't keep a lot of developers can't keep their company alive and wait the gamers buy the game year after year and they close the companies, and it's really, really, really sad to see some people who made their game, they're proud of it, they put everything they have in the game and close the company 2 weeks after the release date. It's really, really harsh. Emotionally, financially, we see some people with debts. I don't know how you say it in English. So yeah, it's really risky. It's terrible how difficult it is. There this information, I don't know if it's right, but in France, a career in video game is about 5 years. We made 3 years to make this game. Yeah, it's really difficult. So regarding game development in my country, you can make a crowdfunding campaign, you can find a publisher, you can do both. If gamers don't pay the game, don't buy the game, you're fucked. So you have to make a really, really awesome game. I don't know, it's really difficult. It's a complicated situation and a complicated question, but it's really difficult. So for the people who want to pursue a career in video game development, I don't know if France is more terrible than other countries. I'm not sure. I'm pretty sure it's the same every countries, but just be careful, be safe. It's complicated. How hard was it to get on Steam? We're not a great example because we had this deal with Developer, who is a famous and really great publisher. So Steam and Sony store, the PlayStation Store, was not hard because we totally let them handle this. We had some work to do, obviously, but it was not our main problem because we had a publisher. What do you think about Steam Greenlight? I don't know. I don't know. I never really understood how does it works, but we have some friends who have been green-lighted, and they are not in a great situation. So green light isn't magic. I'm pretty sure it's cool. It's a great tool to see if your game is appreciated by the public, but it's not magic. So I'm pretty sure it's not something awesome or terrible. It's just something who can give you the idea of is my game will be sold, but that's it. What do you think about Steam Workshop? Did you use it so far? Do you plan to use it? Do you think that can increase lifespan of game? I love the idea to give some to the people the tools to take part of the developments. I love the idea to create something with the gamers. It's perfect. It's if the gamers add some content of your game, it's awesome. It means they love your game. They passed some times to improve it. I would love to. Our game is too simple for this kind of tools, but if I worked on a big game with a big workshop, I will pass all my time to see what people made. It's like the fan arts. We received so many fan arts. It's magic. It's really magic. You see some people who worked on something related to your project. That's magic. So I'm really into this kind of collective activity. How do you approximate the budgets that you need? It was really difficult because when you have to make a budget for a publisher, for example, you have to consider a lot of things. Really a lot of things. So you have to pay the guys, you have to buy the licenses, you have to buy some computers or some, I don't know, some workspaces. You have to think of everything. And in France, for example, the laws, the rules are evolving all the time. So you have to keep involved of, it's really complicated. You have to ask some help of professionals who can help you to make a budget, and you have to take the time. We took a lot of time to be sure about the budget, and we had the chance to work with Devolver, who was really pissed about that. Like, it's not a problem. If you need some more, we will see. If you have too much, it's cool for you. So it was really great. We didn't have a pressure about it. But it's a really difficult part of making a game, make the budget. As an indie developer, would you like to sell your games retail? And what do you think about digital and retail releases? Would you like to sell your games retail? I don't get this question. It's kind of technical, retail, and I think it's about digital and retail ways. I don't know. If you're talking about being sold in a market or something like that, or just digital, not physical, I'm pretty sure it's obvious. It's about the price. You have to sell your game the more cheap. You have to be really cheap if you want to sell. So I don't know. I'm sorry, it's a really special question for me and I can't be sure. Oh my god, it's so long. I don't have enough time to do that. Okay. But it's 7 p.m. Okay. I will continue that and maybe I will end it tomorrow or something. I'm really sorry. I didn't realize how long it could be to answer this. What avenues of monetization do you consider for your projects? In-game purchase, DLC? I don't like the idea to sell some new content. Our game is pretty simple. It's a game, it costs $15 or $25 if you bought the dealer edition, and that's it. If we add some content, it will be free, but I don't judge the societies who do work in a different way. But for myself, I like simple trades. You buy a game, you have the game, and you don't have to keep your credit card next to you. So we had a simple deal about this. What's your approach on DLCs? Like I say, if it's a really big thing, like it's almost a new game, okay, it's not free obviously because there's a lot of work, but DLCs can be, you know, the idea of released a game not finished and sell the DLCs, I'm not a big fan of it, but who am I to say that? It's just not my way of work. It depends on the projects. Some DLCs can be really dope and deserve a new transaction, and some games just make some DLCs to finally have the complete game, and it's really not cool. But I don't have really a specific approach of it. What's your take on VR? Is it something you'd want to develop for in the future, or do you see? I'm pretty sure the VR has a great future in applications for work, like painting in 3D, like you know, this Minority Report, HUD. But in video game, I'm pretty not sure it will be great. Why not some specific places, you know, like arcade place where a big building is made for the VR games. You buy a ticket and you're in a huge room with a lot of people. Everyone has a VR helmet and you can make a game when you can move, and but in your room, in your bedroom or in your living room in front on your couch, I'm really not sure VR has a great future. I'm pretty sure it's not the future of this. But for artists, for developers, for a lot of things, and for the movies, I believe in the VR, but not really in the video games. But it's a classic discussion. A lot of people are better than me to talk about this. If some big publisher contacts you to propose a deal for a game, would you consider it? We had a big publisher. When Devolver contacted us, everything was different. We didn't have to work on the marketing, on the communication, on the PR. We just can be focused on our jobs, making a game, and you handle the rest. And it was really perfect. And just being in the just being published by Devolver make the game something famous in this industry. And in the indie industry, being famous is everything. You have to be known, and it's really difficult to be known, to have some visibility. So a big publisher bring you that. A big publisher. If it's not a big publisher, it's just a publisher in your country, you have to be really, really careful to be sure, because there are a lot of sad stories and a lot of mean people in the publisher part. So a big publisher can be really dope, but you have to be sure to who are you signing with, you know. But yeah, Devolver was perfect, and we are really lucky to work with them, and it was really perfect on every part. So I really have to go now. I'm really sorry. I will make the rest tomorrow, I hope. I'm really sorry. I do my best. I love this exercise. It's really cool to do that. But you can guess it's really difficult for me to find some time. I'm really hurry. So I hope it will be okay to finish that tomorrow, or I don't know. Hey! So sorry for this little cut, but I'm really busy, so I really do my best. Okay, so next question is regarding AAA games and indie games. What is your opinion on these two kinds of games? I guess, like a lot of people, I just thought it's great to have these two kinds of games. If we consider we can cut just in two parts, it's obviously more complicated than that, but the main critic about AAA is the big publisher don't take any risk. Basically, it's always doing the same stuff, and 1, 2, 3, always the same games, and it's too bad that with their budget, their huge teams, their own engines and stuff. Can you imagine if a guy really free and creative with this power in his hands could make some crazy games? But the thing is, when you have so many people to pay, you have to be sure that the game will be sold, and you can't take any risk. So I guess it's the main issue with AAA, but maybe it's changing, because as I said sooner, the last Uncharted was really crazy, really beautiful, well written, and even the Bethesda games seems really legit for me. So I'm pretty sure things gonna be better with in the future about AAA games. There will always be some stupid games with just addiction mechanics in it, but mostly I think the big studios and the big publishers are taking the right direction for me. And the indie games obviously is the total opposite. You can find some crazy concepts, you can find some really modern and innovative mechanics and ideas, but there are no money. So it's sometimes just terrible to see great projects on Kickstarter or this kind of crowdfunding platforms, to see great projects never exist because they were not able to find enough money. So I don't know, it's really sad to see that it's cut in half, it's cut in two parts, indies and AAA, because I would like to see more budget in indie scene, to see some really innovative projects with the possibility to make something big. I don't know, it's a really big question, but I'm really happy to be in the indie scene for now, because I made a game who exists. We were able to finish our project, thanks to developer about that. But I can't imagine working in a big AAA game, to be just a little part on something. I like to work in indie industry because you have everything to do. You can create, you can bring your ideas, and at the end the project is kind of yourself. You put everything you had in it, and people can see it. If you worked on, I don't know, Call of Duty, I'm pretty sure you can't find any of your friends in the final game. How well do you believe in your game needs to sell in order to let you continue? We need a lot of buyers to continue working full time, and it's quite impossible. You have some exceptions. You have some projects, like like Binding of Isaac, Meat Boy, this kind of games, who are some huge success, and after that the team can work by themselves on some new project. But I'm pretty sure people don't have any idea of how cost a new project, how cost a total project. Even an indie game, it's really expensive. So if we want to stay totally independent and start a new project at full time, it means with no jobs to pay the bills. Well, man, we need a lot of sales. So that's the thing. A lot of games in France are released and the studio closed 2 weeks after that, because they realized they can't even refund their debts, and so you have to pay the salaries, you have to pay the people, you have to pay everything before start thinking about the next project. So it means you need to sell a lot, and it's really, really, really difficult. So we'll see. For now, we are really lucky, and it's a good start. So we'll see. What do you think about gaming conferences? Have you ever been at one? If so, what was your experience? If not, which one do you want to get out of that? Okay, like a lot of people, I just saw the E3 conferences. I'm not sure to appreciate it. It's always about selling, selling some dreams, make some promises. We'll think about No Man's Sky, this kind of project. Those conferences are about selling their games, so it's not really interesting for me. But I watch other conferences, like some in France, by indie guys or by creators about their engine. Or a gaming conference doesn't mean something precise. It's not really specific, so there's a lot of conferences. I like the conferences who talk about how things are behind the scenes, behind the games you play. How was your job on this project, or about the industry, or if the conference is just about a game and make some promises, I'm not a big fan. That's why I like Bethesda, for example. Maybe I'm totally wrong, but I have the feeling that maybe they have a different politics, but maybe I'm wrong. In your opinion, what is the best way to promote your game? Demos, social media, bundles, free weekends, YouTubers? The best way to promote your game, I'm pretty sure it's the streamers, YouTubers, because they have so much visibility, they have so much subscribers, thousands of people are watching them playing a game. So when you have a big streamer who loves your games, and you can see the difference in the sales immediately, like it can change everything. So nowadays I'm pretty sure they are the most important ways to promote your game. But if your game is bad, it's not. They can't do some magic. So you just have to make a game they like and hope they will want to play on their stream channels. If not, you have always to make a cool trailer. It's always effective. You have to be really active on social medias too. A lot of people give their advices now, their opinion, their critics. If you just ignore your community, you will have a bad time. People are really active now. They can talk to you, and they do. So you have to be active. It's really hard work just to be active and to sell your project. I didn't draw anything for a while now, since many months, and I'm still working all the day, just by doing community management, answer the emails, the comments, this kind of interviews. Everything around your project is important to make you to make the people share the project and know who you are. A lot of people thought we are just some Russian guys, so you have to communicate a lot to sell your game. But if I had to choose one way, I'm pretty sure the streamers on YouTube and stuff are really the most effective. When do you think it's necessary to advertise the game? Sooner, sooner you can. We can see now you have a lot of early access, or you just have to see the new Hideo Kojima game. We have no idea what it's about, but there's already a trailer. So I'm pretty sure you have to advertise your game the sooner you can. It's a really long process to be known on internet, to be known by your community, to create a community if it's your first project. So yeah, you have to communicate really soon, even if you don't have any finished sprites, finished even if it's really in progress. People know that now you work, it's in progress, and you communicate really soon, as soon as you can. How are you affected by reviews? Yeah, that's something that can be something difficult. The guys from Devolver always told us, don't read the bad comments and don't take care about the bad comments. But when you have, and we are lucky, we have maybe 100 cool comments and one bad, but this guy who just didn't like your project, your game, or even you, he maybe sees something about you and he doesn't like you, and he's saying it, man, it's really difficult. You don't know the guy, you don't know why he say that, but it's really difficult. So it's something. Once again, in an indie game, you put your soul in your project. It seems ridiculous, but that's the case. You put everything you have in this project. So when someone is just insulting you because they didn't like it, it's really harsh. It's really harsh. You take it personally, and it's not a good thing. You know that, but you can't control your feelings, so it can be difficult. I don't care, but for concerning me, just myself, I don't care about the medias, the press articles, the press reviews. If you have a bad review in a media, in a website or something, it's a bad news for yourselves. But I don't care about them because I care about the players. So the only reviews that can make me sad are the players' reviews. But it's the parts of the job. It's a part of a job. You have to handle the bad reviews, the good reviews. You have to be humble, to be when you're trying to not be pretentious. I don't have the English word. Humble. It's really, really something when you're not used to be judged by a lot of people, professionals or just players. It's something that can be difficult. Now I know that. I know what kind of reviews I'm supposed to consider or not, but it's really difficult. And we're all different. My two coworkers are not like me, and they can be affected by. What was your first game you released? How has been received by the public? Did you think that being an indie developer was the right choice, or did it make you consider it? As I said, it was my first game, my first experience in video game, and we are the little exception who has been, successful, famous in this industry. Famous, you get me? Okay. So obviously it was a dream, it was a perfect dream. This story is a success story for me. I just quit my agency, met a guy, built a project, and lived my dream during 3 years. So obviously being an indie developer was the perfect choice. I regret nothing in this in this adventure, in this project. But we are an exception. We were really lucky to have the support of Devolver, to have the support of all these medias and people who helped us. A lot of people are doing hard work during many years and don't have our luck. And being an indie developer is a really big risk to do. That depends how do you consider your happiness. If you want to be rich or have a safety situation, don't do that. you will not be rich. Some people are, but how many? Considering the old industry. So it's really risky. You have to love your game, you have to love your project, because you will work your ass off during months, years, and probably you will not know the success. So you have to love it and you have to be proud of your final game, and that's it. If you think you can be happy with that, that's a great choice, because making a game is really something. It's, you take part of your, it's touching your passion and living your life dream. So it's something who doesn't have a price, but it's risky. It's so thanks to Devolver, we were really lucky and we lived the E3 in Los Angeles, the Gamescom. We're watching now the streamers playing our game. It's beautiful, it's magic. And if I can do that all my life, I will do that. But it's difficult, so I'm not a perfect example to follow, obviously, because we know a lot of studios in France who are just shutting the company. But they're all happy and proud of their games. And I think that's the most important, because they will find some jobs and maybe they will make some other games. But this game they made, the game we made, exists. And it will always exist. So it's something you can be proud. And that's what is about. Being an indie developer is about creating something who will exist after you, and it's something who deserve the issues you will live by choosing this career. How many games have you worked in the past? I'm sorry, man, you just interviewed the wrong guy, I guess. I didn't work in this industry before that. But Fred, the game designer, the game who brought Mother Russia Bleeds, had a degree in game design in a famous school in France. And after that, he had an internship in a little company. And after that, he worked at Ubisoft on Just Dance, on 2 Just Dance. So yeah, and our programmer was just out of school, so he worked on several projects, on different projects at school, but it's his first own game, indie game. My phone just crashed again and I lost 10 new minutes of interview. I'm cursed. Maybe you cursed me. So I said, what were the obstacles you faced during development and how did you overcome them? As I said, I count 4 main obstacles. The first one is to find a great idea. You have to find a great concept of game who will be original or really effective, because there are so many games being released today, then you have to build something special. If your game isn't special, good luck with the community. So that's the first obstacle. Find something you can't be different. The second one is to build a team. Unless if you work alone and you're a genius, because making a game is difficult, you have to build a team. Be sure of your team, because you will pass all your time with those guys, and if they're lazy, if they have a really bad, personality, or if they're not talented enough, it seems mean, but you have to work with people who have some talent or be enough skilly to make a good game. So you have to find a team, to build a team who can work with you, because maybe you're the guy difficult to work with or being cool to work with. So you have a great game concept, you have a great team. Now you have to find the money. And it's mostly the main issue, the only main issue in indie development. You have to be founded. You have to find the money to make your dream comes true, and it will not gonna be easy unless your father or mother or friends are really rich and you just have to ask them. You will have to find a way to be founded. So as we talked about, we have some crowdfunding campaigns, but it's an adventure. You have to find a publisher. That can be a way. You have to be sure of your publisher. So that's the main issue in indie development. And the final obstacle to cross is being known by the community, by the players, by the medias, by the streamers. I don't know, you have to be known. You have to communicate around your project. So if you succeed these 4 obstacles, I don't know why you can't be rich. It's the main 4 obstacles for me. The most difficult parts, more difficult gaps to cross. And a publisher can fix the money issue and the communication issue. That's why we signed with Devolver. We wanted to be really independent, but signing with a big publisher handle the money issue and the communication. So that's a way really easy, but after that obviously you have to share the benefits. I'm gonna cut every time I finish an answer because I don't want to do that again. Okay. What game are you working on right now? I don't work on anything right now because my game is just finished and we're working on the PS4 version. I'm working on the community management. But after that, I don't know. Do we will work on something different, opposite, something similar? I don't know. We'll see. But it's too soon for us to talk about a next game. A lot of people asking that, which is cool because if they didn't like your game, they don't care about your next projects. But a lot of people asking us about what's the next thing, so for now we don't know, we'll see. How is the key reselling market with services like G2A or Kingreen affecting you? A lot of people asking some keys, some Steam keys, but we don't handle this. We just asked some keys for our friends or for the people who worked on the game, obviously. But Devolver has some PR agencies for US, for England, for Europe, and we just let those PR agencies handle the keys, which is easier for us because a lot of people asking some keys and a lot of people are fake accounts. It's just some guys who fake their identity to have some keys and sell it on internet. So we just let the PR agencies handle this. What do you think about piracy from these days? Probably many developers see it as something bad, but do you think that people practicing it will buy your games at all without piracy? Did you think that you could somehow take advantage? Obviously, some people, I guess, download the game illegally, and if they like it, will buy the game. But I'm not sure, maybe I'm wrong, but I'm not sure they represent the majority of those people. I understand when you don't have money, you don't have enough money, you can't buy a lot of games, all the games you want to play. So I don't care if you download the game. I just hope you will not share it, you know. You will be respectful and you download for you because you have some money issue, that's okay. But don't share the link for your friends like, hey people, you can download it for free here. It's not cool, because if you don't have some money issues and you like the game, come on, we need you. We need people buying the game. If everybody get that and just download when you have some money issues, I just lost 12 minutes of interview. And it was 12 great minutes because I had really fun of the last questions. I'm sorry. So let's do it again. It's terrible for me, I'm sorry. Have you thought about what your next game will be? So as I said, we are not thinking about it because we are not finished with Mother Russia Bleeds. We have the PS4 versions coming. We have the old community management part to handle. We have a lot of work on Mother Russia Bleeds, and we have no idea what we will do after that. So it's really too soon to talk about the next game. Did your games win any awards? As I said too, we won some awards during the shows, Gamescom and E3, like best beat 'em up of the show, or it's every awards we won was about beat 'em up, you know. We never won something like best game, or I don't know, best music, something. When you have everyone in your competition, we won a lot of things about beat 'em up because there's not a lot of beat 'em up nowadays, and we were really famous for that. What is your greatest achievement so far as a game developer? Releasing a game is a big achievement because a lot of studios are working on projects who never see the end coming. So we released a game, which is we are really proud of it. And we signed with Devolver Digital, which is maybe the best publisher you can have in this in the indie industry. So it was really a big news for us to be published by Devolver. So for our first game, it's wonderful to live all this, to be at the E3 conference, to be in Los Angeles, in Cologne for Gamescom. All this project is an achievement for us. It was a dream to work on it. And now I know Dennis Redin from Hotline Miami, John Ribbins from Not a Hero or Oli Oli. I do some parties with people I'm a big fan of. So everything in this adventure is an achievement for me. In your opinion, how is the gaming industry doing at this moment, and where do you see it going? It's a big time for video game industry because the large people are starting to realize how powerful is this medium. A lot of serious people joining this industry, scenarists, art director, so it's starting to be something as important as it deserves. So you have to handle all these new jobs like the streamers, the pro gamers, the e-sport. So it's even in France we have a lot of new laws validated by the government about the gaming developers. So it's something with in transformation. So it's really difficult. For now it seems to be a big mess. You have the triple A's against the indies, and the indie part is a mess. There's too many games released, too many copycats of games. So it's a big mess for now. We have to fix a lot of issues of this industry, but it's evolving and I think it's in the right direction. Everything is to build in this industry, and I'm pretty optimistic for the future. What plans do you have for the future? I would love to work in this industry. I would love to work in video game all my life, so I will do my best to stay in this industry. But it's not more precise than that. I have no idea what I will doing in 1 month. So I will find some new projects. Le Cartel Studio, our studio, will be, maybe we'll start a new project or not. We have no idea. Working on Sociable is so intense, we really didn't have the time to think about the future. If you could go back in time and give yourself some advice when you were just starting out, what would that be? I will say to my little me, be confident about your skills, because I worked 7 years in some agencies doing a really not cool job, and I was not happy about my job. I loved my coworkers, I loved my life, but I didn't like my job at all. Just because my friends are so talented. I'm surrounded by genius, you know. Just watch my trailer, my launch trailer. The launch trailer of Mother Russia Bleeds has been made by CRCR. It's the company of my friends, and they are fucking genius. And growing with those people. The game I've always wanted to make. I forgot that. I answered to that, but I had this crash. So what I said about this perfect game I wanted to make is a boxing game in VR. I'm a boxer, and a real perfect boxing game with real sensation in VR, man, that's the future. That's the future. And if I had billions of dollars, I will make the most incredible boxing experience in video game. And I'm pretty sure a studio will make it, and I will be a big fan. And finally, leave a message for the indie devs in addition to your final message. Pick your mind. I'm reading the last lines. Okay. Leave a message for the indie devs in addition to your final message. But I don't know if it's about the other devs you interviewed or if all the devs in the world. So the message you can work with both is keep it on, man. It's not easy, I know that, but we're making games, so we have to keep it on. And thanks for all these games, these cool games you made.
Thank you for watching this show. If you enjoyed it, please consider watching some of our other videos and maybe sharing them or giving a thumbs up if you feel like it. And if you really liked what you saw, please check out our Patreon page. For just $1 a month, you could help us make much better shows and get some rewards in the process.